of the map. If your opponent cannot get more land before the timer in the upper right expires, he will be defeated. Hold on to at least 70% of the map for a little while longer to achieve victory. If you haven't yet reached your commerce cap, add more citizens to the woodcutters camp to gather as much timber as possible. This is a free-form scenario where you can play the game at your own pace. Try to capture the barbarian capital or conquer 70% of the map. There'll be hints and reminders to help you as you play. Don't forget to conduct research at your library. Researching new technologies is vital to building your nation and advancing your people through the ages. This is your supply wagon. It automatically helps your siege weapons fire more rapidly and prevents your units from being damaged by attrition. Now would be a good time to begin collecting wealth for your nation. Create markets and caravans to set up trade between your cities. First, you'll need to research written word on the yellow science track at the library. Then your citizens will be able to build a temple. If you want to see more of the map, you can always zoom in and out by using the mouse wheel or pressing page down on the keyboard. When you select air mission and designate a unit or building, planes will fly directly to the target and attack. You have opened a negotiation window, but not with the French. Close, then reopen the diplomacy window and select the French to negotiate with them. The Germans will most likely attack our fortifications near Dover, so we need to set up our air bases so they can easily protect this area. When created, airplanes remain in the air base until you send them on a mission. The fighter you have created is shown in the bottom right corner and is ready to go. Oil can be found beginning in the industrial age. To start gathering oil, we need to build oil wells over these oil deposits. Now we have an alliance with the French. Among other advantages, alliances allow their members to share line of sight. Members of an alliance can move into each other's territory without penalty and can set trade routes between our cities. Our troops are in place near Dover for the fight. Well fought. We fared better than the French because we were entrenched and had anti-tank weaponry to fend off the German panzers. Select your entire army and move them back to Dover. The British Royal Air Force is ready for action. All your fighters should patrol near the coast of Dover so we can defend against the German air attack. The battle for France has been lost, and the battle for Britain is about to begin. This will be a battle of air power. Germany must be stopped here. The British forces have been saved by cunning and bravery, but our time for bravery has not yet ended. Have your citizens build 2 air bases near Dover. Build another air base near Dover. Now create 10 Lancaster bombers to prepare for the attack. Build 1 fighter at this air base. These reinforcements will help, but we still need more defenders. Fill both air bases with 10 fighters. Create a general at your redoubt. Build an oil refinery near London to increase our oil production. Have your citizens build an oil well over each of the 3 oil deposits. Now that we have some air bases, we can create fighters and bombers. Click the diplomacy button in the bottom right corner of the screen. Click the dove icon next to Germany to declare war on that nation. Click on the Ally checkbox with the 2 hands shaking to indicate that you want to propose an alliance. Close the diplomacy window. Good. This is where we can make deals with the French. It costs wealth to start a war. Go ahead and pay the cost. You have closed the diplomacy window, but we are not done negotiating yet. Reopen the diplomacy window and resume negotiations. This is the diplomacy window. We've made it safely to the coast, but the Germans are sending their forces to destroy us before our escape. Now right-click near Dunkirk to move your army. The German air invasion has been stopped. England has been saved. It takes some time for the general to entrench nearby units. Some fighter planes from northern England have arrived to help us in our battle against the Germans. Alas, your forces were defeated. We will now be in a much worse position to defend against Germany, but we must continue on. We are to move our forces across the English Channel and rendezvous with a French armored car near the coast. The French force has gathered on the primary road to Paris in an effort to hold back the main assault. The French have indicated they need food in return for an alliance. To increase the effectiveness of our units, we should have a general nearby. Generals have a number of special abilities that are useful in combat. They also automatically enhance the fighting ability of nearby units. Generals are created in fortifications, like the redoubt. The general has an ability that can help speed our retreat. After years of giving in to German demands, it is clear to England that their policy of appeasement has failed. Germany has invaded Poland and declared war on the free world. The Germans will need to destroy our fortifications along the coast before they can move their ground forces across the channel to attack. To do this, they'll need to establish air superiority over southern England and wipe out our installations with bombers. Our course of action is clear. We need to build air bases and fighter planes to defend against the impending German air attack. The Germans have arrived. The Germans are here. It's up to our Air Force now. Your army has moved to the rendezvous point. We need to get into position for the German attack. Click 5 times on the Food Offer button to give the French 500 food. In the top left corner of the window is the interface to offer and demand resources during a negotiation. The buttons on the left will demand 100 resources. The buttons on the right will offer 100 resources. We are now in position to defend Calais. We can use one of the general's special abilities to help our troops fight even better. The French have requested that we position the English forces to guard Calais on the northern coast. The German attack on Paris is imminent. The French desperately need our help, so we will send reinforcements. Watch your fighter as it flies off to patrol the area. Patrolling fighters will fly between their airbase and patrolling point and attack any unit that comes into range. We now have enough oil production to start creating air bases and airplanes. Your units may be more effective in formation. To set a formation, press and hold the right mouse button and move the mouse in the direction you want your units to face. A line indicates the direction. Move the mouse to position your troops and then release the right mouse button to move your units into that formation. Left-click near the flag in the English Channel to set the plane's destination. Look at the bottom right of the screen and you'll see the progress. Now right-click the flag near the French armored car to have your units move across the English Channel. Each of our neighboring nations has a stance icon that represents our relationship with them. England can no longer watch passively while the free countries of Europe are conquered. We must declare war on the Germans and establish an alliance with the French. The troops around your general are now entrenched. As long as they don't move, they take less damage in battle. Giving them a move order cancels the entrenchments. Your next objective is always displayed in the upper left corner of your screen. Click the objective to repeat the audio for this objective. Good. Now notice that our oil production has substantially increased. To build air bases and airplanes, we will need to start accumulating oil. Each well supplies oil, but we can generate even more by constructing an enhancement building, the oil refinery. You have built a Lancaster bomber. These bombers wreak havoc on ground targets, but are defenseless against incoming German attacks. Build fighters to attack German airplanes. Although we have beaten off the first German attack, the French have been routed and Paris will soon fall. We must save our army and return to England. One of the best uses of fighters is to send them out to patrol the area to defend against incoming aircraft. Select all your fighters in each airbase and give them an air mission to patrol near Dover. We are at peace with all our neighbors, as shown by the dove icon. We need to position our troops to defend Calais. Move them to the flag below the city. The French want 500 food and need an alliance. Make sure you are offering 500 food and have ally checked when you click the propose button. Press the propose button again to submit the new proposal. Click the propose button to propose the alliance to France. We need to quickly retreat to the coast and cross the channel back to England. Right-click the airbase to send your Lancaster bombers in to destroy it. Excellent. We are now ready for the German attack. Generals use craft to perform their special abilities. The amount of craft is displayed by the blue bar near the general's health bar and in the bottom right corner of the screen. After your fighter lands, it will take some time to rearm and refuel from the journey. Then it will head out to patrol again. Right-clicking clears the selection. Select Air Mission again and left-click the target to order an air patrol. Select one of your air bases. Select the air base where you built your fighter. Select all of your military. Good. Now select your Lancaster bombers. Select the fighter on the right side of the screen. Select the Forced March ability. Select Premier Paul Renault to open up the negotiation window with France. Select the general to get a closer look. We want to get a closer look at the general, so left-click on him to select him alone. Select the general's entrench ability. Select all of your military. The bottom left panel shows the actions available to the fighter. Select the Air Mission button. Select your redoubt. You have selected some but not all of your military. Remember to select your entire fighting force and your general. Now we have declared war on the Germans, and the icon is changed from a dove to a sword to represent that. We need to set up an alliance with France. Now we can start a bombing campaign of our own. We need to destroy the German air bases along the coast of France so that Germany won't be able to send any more attacks our way. We have successfully negotiated an alliance with the French. Now we must put our agreement into action. Now the Germans have sent a force to capture Calais. Food, timber, and metal resources each have an enhancement building that increases the production of that resource. Build enhancement buildings when you want to improve your production rate. Airplanes have a limited amount of fuel, shown by the blue bar over the fighter's health. When an aircraft's fuel is depleted, they will fly directly back to their home airbase to refuel. After you have set the options you want, you can propose the offer to the other party. The general's forced march ability increases the speed of nearby units. Two kinds of airplanes can be created at an airbase: fighters and bombers. Bombers are effective against buildings. Fighters are best at destroying other air units and ground troops. Since the Germans will send bombers to attack our cities and airfields, we need to create fighters for defense. The general has a number of abilities that he can use. Each of these abilities affect ground units nearby. One quick way to assign airplanes to perform an air mission is by right-clicking a target. The French were not prepared to deal with the German tanks, and their army is getting torn apart. The First World War has left Europe decimated and bankrupt. In Germany, domestic upheavals trigger the rise of extreme nationalism, and the German war machine is rebuilt. When it becomes clear that Germany cannot be thwarted by diplomacy, a reluctant Britain declares war along with its ally, France. For the second time in a quarter century, a world war erupts, one that is destined to be more terrible than the first. Excellent work. We have defeated the Germans in the Battle of Britain. The liberation of Europe will be difficult, but I'm sure we will prevail. We want to form an alliance with France.
him, boys! I'll shoot you down faster than a jackrabbit. Go on, boys! Oh! Got you in my crosshairs. Go! 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 You going so fast. Move on in.